It's very peculiar that the quality of workmanship on the Great Pyramid, and indeed on the other two pyramids at Giza, is extremely high. But go a generation later, 2 generations later, to the 5th dynasty, go to the pyramid of Unas at Saqqara, where the so-called pyramid texts are inscribed inside the so-called tomb chamber. And that pyramid, the exterior of it is a mess. It's very poorly built, very poorly constructed. Yeah. You know, you look at it, it just looks like a heap of stones, whereas the Great Pyramid today is still a majestic structure. Yeah. So it's as though they put everything they had into
try to replicate it, but they just
try to replicate, and then a generation or 2 later they could. That's the pyramid of Unas. Yeah. You know?
What if it's just like the Knicks, where like the father did a really good job, and then the next generation just really fucked the whole thing up?
Yeah, I mean it could be, but it's
pointless shots on my team. Like
no, it's a fair point. You know, I mean, human societies go up and down, and that can happen. But that's my view also with the idea of a lost civilization, that we can have an apex and they can fall into a slump and they can come out again. But is knowledge preserved and passed down through the ages? Yes, I think it is.
Now, why wouldn't the people in the Nile Valley at that time, 12,000 years ago, also not be Egyptian? Like, could they still be ethnically Egyptian at that time?
Well, I think I think in a way, I'm actually deeply uninterested in ethnic matters. When I come to relate to and evaluate a fellow human being or a culture, I'm interested in the ideas that those people have. I'm not interested in their genes. I think actually genes are vastly overrated. They're the least important aspect of a human being. They've been blown up into huge importance in our culture today, but I think
Elusive, thanks buddy. Thank you, my man. I'm pretty happy with that. I'm pretty happy with that time. I am going to keep going though. Thanks, buddy.
It's been my privilege to travel
that was a nice ending. The ending was good.
Intensely for
what up,
the
bro?
best part of 40 years. And
hey man, it means a lot to you here, dude.
The remotest village in the remotest corner of the Amazon, or whether I find myself in New York City, once I get down to talking face to face with
we're playing on the CRT, man.
just like me, and they have the same hopes, the same dreams, the same fears as every other human being. So I think we make too many divisions. I love cultural differences. Yeah. Cultural differences are great. Differences in ideas are great, but genetic differences are trivial in my view. And the things that divide us as human beings are far less important than the things that unite us as human beings. I think maybe it's high time we recognize that. So whether the modern Egyptians are ethnically connected in any close way to the ancient Egyptians is a matter that I regard as fundamentally unimportant. The modern Egyptians also honor and respect the Great Pyramids, and ancient Egyptian culture, and that's what matters to me.
I'm curious, piggyback on that, like, how do you feel about the criticism that you got some people saying you're a racist after the Netflix documentary?
Well, that criticism was.
Thank you, buddy.
That's why we're like, we hope you're racist. We
you kind of let me down with this whole everyone's equal talk.
That was interesting. The subject of race is never mentioned in my Netflix series.